Hello, welcome to Cauldron Brew. I am Jay, and I'm here with my good friend Julie.
Hello.
Hi. So today we're talking about it. Does one have to be mature to practice any form of paganism?
Yeah, they do. As much as work that goes into it, no matter what path you're on, you have to be able to have the mindset and have oh, what's a good word for it? The ability to work on what needs to be worked on.
Yes. And there are some things like dealing with our own shadow, our junk drawer that if you really dive deep into all your garbage, it can mentally fuck with you.
Oh, it can. It really can. And excuse me, that one, when we do that later on this season, there you have to be able to pull out every aspect of yourself that you don't like, that you
Mm-mm.
hide away from everybody. And, to be able to handle that, you have to have the maturity. If you're always
Right.
going to, you don't have to be like, that strict focus. You can be goofball, you can have fun, but you have to be able to be mature enough to, especially in group settings, to handle different egos that
Personality types.
personality egos that come at you, and being
hmm
able to have to deal with that.
Most definitely. And, we've experienced that and
Yeah.
some some just gotta go. See ya.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing in paganism: egos do not belong,
No.
especially that I'm better than you, you got to follow my way, your way's wrong. That has no that does not belong in any craft.
All right.
And that is just no.
Well, I I lost my train of thought.
It's the weather.
But yeah, but yeah, it's not it's not something for an undisciplined mind. Definitely.
Right. Now, in the beginning, it's, you don't have to be very disciplined, just learning. You're
hmm
new to the practice, the craft, whatever path you're going to be on. You develop over time, but you still have to have that mentality to want to learn, to grow, and have that structure. If you don't have that, or even the slightest little bit of discipline, it's not going to go well.
Right. And um, God, I am so brain dead today.
It's okay.
But yeah, in the beginning, you don't need to worry about it because you're just learning the basics of it.
Right.
And it's more of more of the advanced practitioners. If you want to be an advanced practitioner, definitely you're gonna have to go through your junk drawer. You're gonna have to um go through a lot of shit with yourself, and there's gonna be a few
Yes.
battles. There's gonna
Well,
be
not,
some things that you don't like.
oh, exactly. And besides that, all the research, because and one thing where you know, the mental part of it is nothing comes easy. Like some things might come easy, but there's so much research.
hmm
You won't know everything. So you have to be able to have that focus to be able to do that.
So far, discipline, focus, and mental clarity, we'll say.
Yes, definitely need
Even though my brain's in a
clarity.
fog today.
Right. But yeah, but when you're practicing, no matter what, path you're on, you have to have that clarity. You can't have it messed up with
Hmm.
anything. It's won't bode well.
No, definitely not. Especially if you're doing spell work.
Yeah, you definitely need because you need the clarity for that one,
Yeah,
or that spell's gonna go sideways.
true.
To be nice. Well, especially for my line of work type of thing was what I call it. You have to have major discipline, the focus, and it some tasks are not a joke. They're
No.
not a toy to just, let's see what happens. No, that's where, you got to have all of that. You're basically your ducks in a row. Because if you treat it as a joke or a game or oh, it's not that serious, it's that, basically, you know, mess around and find out.
Right.
I'm not sure about with swearing on this, so I'm gonna keep it PG for the most part till we get further on into the season.
Right. But definitely there's some traditions that, you just don't want to jump into and, be like, oh, this looks cool and do it.
Yeah, no, that's one thing you don't want to do. Some of them are more
You can get
easier
burned.
going. Oh, definitely. Especially when you're starting out, you will get burned a few times. But that's how you grow. But you also have to be able to be mature enough to learn from it. Be like, okay, you don't blame anybody else. You don't blame the spells. You don't blame this or that. It's user error,
All right.
as our friends from, you know, Pagan Coffee Talk said in their one podcast. It's user error when
Yeah.
it comes to spell work or anything of that nature, anything of any part of under paganism. You have to, you have to accept responsibility for what you
Hmm.
do. And there's been a few that we both know that it's not me, it's you. You didn't do something right, or, you gave me something that was defective.
I would have been like, bitch, you defective.
Yeah, well, with me and my sarcastic ways, it just sort of roundabout way be like, yeah, sure.
Hmm.
I'm not on your path, but okay. Yeah, I
All
was the
right.
one to blame for it. I wasn't even there.
Some people, they, some people never grow up. Just saying.
Yeah,
They never
that
have
is true.
that maturity in life.
Right.
And then they wonder why nothing's happening.
Oh yeah, that's just it. It's also to where, with that, maturity, you have to, yeah, it's easy to blame someone else. This isn't right, that's not right, but you have to have that, okay, I screwed up.
Hmm.
I did something wrong. No matter what path, it's like, and then you work on it. But that's where you have to work on yourself.
Hmm.
And that's where the maturity comes in to be able to be like, okay, there's things I don't like about myself, especially when we do the shadow work. Because to be able to further your path, you have to do shadow work. And that takes
Yep.
a lot of
Got to clean
maturity.
house.
Yes, you do. You have to be right with yourself in every little corner inside of you. Basically that unpack your skeletons, your demons, and work through it. And it could take a long time. But the
Sure
only way you're
can.
going to further yourself is by, being able to do that.
I've been on my spiritual journey since 2007-ish.
Right.
And so it's been a long time and I've stumbled, you know, I where's the words? I wasn't mature in the beginning, far as what it mentally takes to be doing any of this stuff. And because I had no clue what I was getting into.
Right.
And it was all new to me. Like, like before this, it was Christianity. And so, like, I didn't know anything about this. And other than, my mentor, he would give me books to read. He's like, "You're not doing anything, read a book."
Yep.
Very strict. And what he was doing, not only was he trying to educate me, but he was also trying to build that discipline of learning.
Oh yeah. It's very useful to have a mentor. Definitely, you need it in the beginning to even figure out, you know, you could be a mentor of someone that has knowledge of a lot of different paths because you may not know. You can dabble a little bit, like research, see which one feels comfortable to you.
Hmm.
You know, if you don't have a calling, because I've been, growing up very strict Catholic, that Roman Catholic, and it was this way. Everything was structured, and so if you 1 foot out of line, basically you're condemned to going to hell. And once I started, but I've always been spiritual since I was little with,
Hmm.
but I wasn't, I didn't jive with Christianity. It just didn't feel right. So when I started my journey, it was like the early 90s. It was like 1990 is when I started. And I've been, all throughout life, always had, but I never had a mentor. We didn't have social media. We didn't have any of that. So everything at 14, hey mom, can I go to the library so I could do research? I was My mom would be like, uh-huh, what do you want to research? You know,
Right.
very strict Catholic household. That stuff did not fly in. So everything had to school, talk with other people and start nitpicking until I could start, finding different people. But then still the research, their information was what they could gather.
Yeah.
And, my mom, with everything it was growing up, you know, I dabbled in some things that I shouldn't have at that young of an age. I got my ass kicked a lot and burned and, messed with horses that I had no reason to be near at that young of an age with no mentor and no nothing.
Well, in 90, I was 9. So you had to been about 14-ish.
Yep. Yeah, I was 14 in the night in 1990.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have
We didn't have, it was
the
just,
resources they do today.
oh, it would have been so helpful back then,
Yeah.
but it would also anything of the pagan traditions was widely not acceptable.
No,
It was very still hush hush. It wasn't
it
like it
was.
is today to where everybody under the sun is this or that and flaunting it. And most of them don't know what the hell they're talking about, as
And
we've discussed
authors
before.
were far and few between.
Yes, because it wasn't, you know, you couldn't, it was very hard, or I don't even know back then. I know for me, myself, I'm, an independent publisher, and where I publish my own books. But back then, I don't know if there was such a thing like there is now.
Right. Now we can do it all on the internet.
Right.
And I highly doubt you could have, if you could self-publish back then, it would have been difficult.
Right. Well, yeah, because there was, the hoops you had to go through, just like, today to, it's, I'm sure it was like back then, to where who you knew to get ahead, just like today, a lot of publishing companies have a wide range of hoops you have to jump through if they're even to look at you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, especially unknowns, you have to pay out of your own pocket,
Right.
and they don't guarantee anything, So I don't know back then what it all entailed. I'm sure pretty much the same thing. But yeah, the information, is definitely now with being older, because with my path, one of them, been doing it for over 25 years.
Uh-huh.
And that's still, you know, a practitioner of it. I'm still researching, still learning new things. Because that age old thing, that where it's true, being on a pagan path, you'll always learn. You will never know everything. It's a
Mm-mm.
constant learning and growing. No matter what path you're on, you will not know everything. And you have to be mature enough to say, hey, if you don't know something, go to someone and ask,
Right.
instead
Do
of
the research.
research. Or if you don't know where to go, say, go to someone and say, hey, I'm stuck. I don't know what to look up. I don't know. Or, it's okay to admit you don't know what you're
Right.
looking for or what you're doing, or you need help. A lot of different pagans that I've come across will not do that.
No.
And I don't understand. It's like, it's okay to ask for help. You have to find where you need to go with certain things. So with,
Most
the
definitely.
maturity of it, yeah, you have to be mature enough to say, hey, I need help.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. It's that thing that I've always heard. A stupid question is a question not asked.
That is so
No,
true.
no question, especially if you're learning and you're not being a jerk about it, you know, or anything of that nature, as long as you want to learn. Because I have no problem if people come up to me. And now, if I don't know, I know certain people like of different paths be like, let me go talk to someone and see, if they'll talk with you about it or what
Mm-hmm.
they recommend.
Right.
I'll be the first one to admit I don't know everything. I'll ask
Right.
questions.
You know, some people think that they have to know every subject, from history to craft to whatever, rituals, herbs, the whole nine yards.
Right.
You can have a specialty. You could specialize in one area. Herbalism. You could specialize in herbalism and still, do everything else, but you're not as strong in those other areas as you would be, let's say, herbalism.
Right. And there's, nothing wrong with that to have,
Hmm.
it's like I don't, my path doesn't follow a lot of the holidays, the moon cycles,
Hmm.
any of the things. And some people bring it up, and I'm like, which one's that one?
Right.
Because, I'm going to learn. Am I going to retain? I know Halloween because that's more my time of the year. But, the spring, summer equinox, winter equinox, to me is that, but everyone else has different, names for it. Not everyone's going to know all the names,
Hmm.
because every path has different names for
Yep.
for everything. So if you don't know something, just like
That's like with your son, he'll mention one of the bloats, and I'm like, I will ask him, what is that? Because I don't know. I don't
Yep.
know, the wheel for the floats. I don't.
Oh yeah, for
So
well, yeah,
I
for the
have to
Norse,
ask
yeah.
him, hey, what is that? Just to get a little bit information.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah, he's a wealth of information when it comes to, but he's Norse.
Yeah,
But
I'm
he's
not, so
also
I wouldn't know
right,
the names.
right. Yeah, and
But I
he's one
still
of
ask,
us.
because I am curious.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. But that's also how we learn and we grow.
Yeah.
So that way you can have a conversation, or if, just say he brings it up again, it'll pop in. Okay, I remember him talking about that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, if it seems fitting, you can, like, you read something and it sort of corresponds, you can have a conversation with someone, and instead of just being ignorant and being like, yeah, that's their path, I don't care.
Right.
I'll learn some basics to almost every path. Doesn't mean I'm going to follow them, because that's
Mm-hmm.
not my calling. My calling is completely different, always has been, than
Mm-hmm.
a lot of others.
Yeah, most definitely. You can be accepted and still not, you know, follow their path or their spiritual journey or their tradition or whatnot. And that's where the maturity is.
Yep. Yeah. And you don't, just because someone does something different than you don't turn around and you're like, well, that's stupid. That's dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like
that is rude.
very, and it shows your colors
Yeah.
when you snub your nose or say something that's derogatory towards another person's path.
You've actually had that happen to you.
So have you.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been, especially my path is very looked down upon.
We've never done it with each other, but we do know somebody
No.
who has done it with us.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've had it quite a few times because of my path.
Right. And we also been, oh, you can't do that because of this rule. Well, I don't follow that rule because it ain't my thing.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, with that one irks the hell out of me.
Right.
I don't tell you what you can and can't do.
Right.
Don't be telling me.
Right.
The only rule I follow is I'll never hurt kids. You never hurt kids and you never hurt animals. You know, I go
Mm-hmm.
for the eye for an eye, especially with my cursing and hexing. You have to, I have to deem it necessary for me to use my energy to go after you.
Yeah, you're using your willpower, and your energy to do something like that. Why am I going to waste my time on this person, my thoughts?
Yeah,
So it has to
exactly.
be something that's really considered because your thought process is there, your energy is going to be there. Why am I going to waste my energy on this person?
Right. That's where
And
a
that's what
lot
people don't understand with curses and hexes.
it's not willy nilly.
No,
If you do, just throw it out because someone made you mad at that moment, it's gonna fuck you up.
right. You
It's
got to sit
not.
down, meditate, and think, and ask yourself, why am I upset? Why am I bothered by this? Because it could be something with you.
Oh yeah, there's someone just may be being a jerk. They may be having a bad day,
Hmm.
and you were the closest person they lashed out. It's like, I'll sit there instead of taking my time and energy to curse or hex you. I'm gonna be like, you better stay in your lane. Don't be bringing that crap to me for no
Right.
reason. It's everyone knows that we know I'm very vocal when it comes to, I'll point out what you're doing wrong, but I'll be
Right.
nice at first about it, and I won't do it in front of everybody
You know,
because
right.
it's not right to air out grievances when it just deals with two people.
Yeah. If somebody calls, like, I've had friends in the past where they'll call me up, hey, can I come over? I need to vent.
Right.
Come on over. And they're just they're going off not at me personally. They're not verbally attacking me. They're just venting all their frustrations. And
Yep.
then afterwards, give them a hug and sit down and
Well, yeah, well, see,
give
you
them,
know that they're venting.
yeah,
It's, but we both had some people just come at you because someone else pissed them off. You're right there. So they're just gonna, one little thing will set them off and they just start going at you.
yeah. I just
And you're
wanted
like,
to make it clear that and there's some situations where it's not necessarily attacking, it's more of venting, but they've asked permission. Hey, can I vent to you?
oh yeah, there's definitely a difference though.
Yeah.
You have to, but when someone comes at you, it's, I've had people to where I've turned, you know, the cheek, I've let
Mm-hmm.
it go. I've let it go. I've let, just, but it got to the point to where they wouldn't keep my name out of their mouth. And before I could do anything, my son did a blood curse. And I forget the name because it's one of the nurses. And it's to where it lasted for about a year. It didn't harm the person, but it kept my name out of their, it kept my family out of their mouth. Now you bring
Mm-hmm.
my family into it, all bets are off. I will go
Right.
at you. My dearest best friends that are like family. You go at them, I'm stepping in,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But that's how I am. It has to deem necessary for me to warrant using my energy. But that's where the self-reflecting, the meditation, the mentality to be able to distinguish, is it worth it?
Right.
Is it, am I just going off of the ego? Like, how dare you say that to me? I'm going to teach you a lesson. No,
No.
because those kind of spells won't work. That's where, the user error comes in because you're too
Right.
quick to judge. You don't have that mental clarity to distinguish if you should or shouldn't and what
Right.
caused that reaction. If it's an ongoing issue, then yeah, take care of it. Eye for
Yep.
an eye, you know, especially if someone throws something at you, throw it twice as back, harder, deadlier, to know not to be messed with.
Right.
Oh, I'll send a
Most
return to sender.
definitely.
Oh yeah, I'll return it to sender with my name stamped all over it. You know where it's coming from. I don't do that. Oh, I don't want them to know. Yeah, no, my name's
Screw
all
that.
over it. Yeah,
Yep.
you'll know it's coming from me.
But you don't reveal your tactics
Mm-mm.
either.
No, nope. That's all secret.
Yep.
I'm not going to open my book, be like, here, read. you know, take this stuff. I don't share what I do very lightly,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely don't share what I use. What my workings are, like to a point, like when we get into season 3 with the darker magic aspects. I'll explain some of the things,
Yeah, there's
but
spells that I know that I won't share.
right. Well, yes, certain ones, just like, with me, it's, other ones, I have no problem. Here, you
Mm-hmm.
need something, I have no problem sharing. Maybe this will help it, you know, if even though you can write your own, but, if you're getting stuck on something, well, here, just like that one book that you have of mine that I'm revamping, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's some normal everyday spells in there, but it's for healing, to help with
Yeah.
healing, and different things of that nature, you know, like how you're supposed to wash your door down, with peppermint oil and warm water for different things, you know. but I'll get later on that one. I started laughing. I have to bring this up. Someone said, make sure to put salt down for, your doors and windows to keep out negative energy. I was like, okay, fine. You want to believe in that. But what they don't tell you, and what made me laugh, and it's really sad, is they don't say cleanse your house first to get rid of the negative energy. People are
Yes.
going around on social media, make sure to do this, this, this. What about this? Because you do that, you're going to trap the negative stuff in your house. It's like, it's just certain things that's where, I'm just like, half these people should
That
not be on
makes
social
sense. That
media.
makes sense. That makes a
It,
lot of
it does,
sense.
because as they said, someone's sick, you have had a really bad arguments. It's just turmoil and chaos. Before you quote seal your house, get rid of every negative energy, get rid of every, the sickness and all that. Get rid of it first, because you seal it in, it's just going to be like a tornado. It's going to keep
Right.
going around and around, and then you're going to be stuck in the vortex going, what the hell happened?
Spring
It's like,
cleaning, people.
yeah, start with the inside, open windows, get it out before you do anything else. Every corner, every nook and cranny, you know?
Right. And in some traditions they actually use a broom.
Oh, yeah.
And what's a broom used for? To sweep up junk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, well,
Sweep that junk right out your door.
yeah. And people always forget open windows. When you go to cleanse, open windows, open the door, get it out.
Yeah.
Don't sit there. And I always laugh because it's like, hey, you have the windows and doors closed. You go to get cleanse it. Where's it supposed to go?
Yeah.
If there's no way for it to get out, your thought process alone is not going to get rid of it.
No. Get
Just
it out
because you
into
want,
nature, let nature do its thing and
yeah,
transform it.
let it dissipate out there.
Yeah.
But that's where the mental maturity, I see so much on social media,
Oh
has such
God.
a downfall because misinformation, or they don't want to share, or they're missing so much of it. And then, but you got ones that you go to be like, hey, you forgot this step, which would be helpful, and then you get the backlash.
Yeah.
So, that's where it all ties into, the maturity of it, research,
Exactly.
be ready to, open Pandora's box on yourself and clean up your own mess
Hmm.
before you even can remotely even help anyone or remotely spew anything. Clean up your own
Hmm.
mess first. You will be better off for it in the long run.
I was gonna do something different today since I have the YouTube studio pulled up and we are streaming right now on YouTube.
Oh, it is
And if
working.
there was people in chat, I was gonna ask them what they thought, but there was nobody in chat, so
Right. Did we is it posted on Discord that we're live?
no.
Oh, okay. But yeah, next time we have people on there, that'd be cool
Yeah,
to get their questions or
yeah,
see what they would say.
yeah. Well, I think I'm all out.
Yeah, not bad for the start of the season 2.
No, it's not. So before we go, why don't you inform them of your stuff, your books, and
My books and that. Okay.
yes.
I gotta get a little blurb going for that. Um, I've been writing for it's going on 4 years now, to where everything's been published. I have uh two main sites. Facebook, you can find it under Julie Rockwell dash author, and I have my YouTube channel, which is Julie Rockwell dash author, where it has all my books and videos, and just I do fantasy fiction, some romance, normal romance, second chances of love, but I'm more of the with the mythical beings, the vampires, werewolves, the fae, demons, pagan deities. So it's just a big mixture with a lot of twists and turns.
She's got her books on Spotify and Amazon. You can find them there. But I'm
And
gonna recommend if you guys
Audible.
like murder mysteries, um, that kind of storyline, there is a werewolf book that I really enjoyed of hers, One Last Hunt. Go
Oh
check
yeah,
her out. All right. Thank you, Julie.
it's been fun. We'll be
Yes.
doing we're doing this next week, right?
Yep.
Same
Next
time.
week, 7 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern time. All right. This is Cauldron Brew. I am Jay, and this is Julie. Thank you for